So this morning we're going to do a metta bhavana, a loving kindness meditation, and I've titled this on the text that goes with this video. I've titled it "Being a Friend to the World," and I think that's what this practice is about. Really, it's being a friend to ourselves as well, but also being a friend to the world. And we have to start off by being a friend to ourselves. So metta is, it's often translated as love or loving kindness, but it is not normal love. It's not romantic or the love we have for our family. That kind of love is very, very good. But it is a bit of a transaction. You know, we love people because of some conditions, because they love us back, or because we are related to them, or there's some reason for this. There's an interchange of love. They love us, we love them, and it's a two-way kind of system, ordinary love. Well, metta or loving kindness isn't like that. It's completely unconditional. And it's a love that we give out to everybody, regardless of what they are, whether they're people or animals. It's a love that we radiate out to the world, to people that we like and people that we don't like, to people we can't even stand. We still have a sense of kindness and goodwill towards them. And we don't have to like everybody. It's not about that. It's about having a sense of friendship too. Friendship's probably not the right word there. A sense of solidarity with other human beings and other animals. Every living thing is struggling to survive, struggling in some way to be happy, not to have pain in their lives, and to have good conditions in their lives. And that applies to us, and it applies to every animal, bird, insect, creatures that live in the water, everything that lives and breathes. And so we're no different to everything else. And in Buddhism, the Buddha said that everything is interconnected. We are part of everything. We don't often appreciate that. We cut ourselves off from the world, and there's me in here and the world out there. But actually, we are very dependent on the world, and the world reflects us as well. So what we can do, if we can develop a sense of kindness to all living things and ourselves, then this changes the world. This is a radical practice. If we can have a sense of loving kindness to the whole world, if we can develop this, then the whole world responds back to us in a kinder way. And I've done this practice for 11 years now, and it's incredible. I can tell you, it's just, I don't understand it, but I've obviously become a little bit kinder and softer. I'm not there yet. But somehow the world around me is kinder to me, and I can't explain it. But it happens. It does happen. So it's very good practice to keep doing. Not the easiest of meditations. So it's in 5 stages. The first stage, we wish ourselves well. The second stage, we wish a good friend well. The third stage, we bring to mind a stranger and wish them well. And in the 4th stage, we bring to mind somebody we don't really get on with or like. And in spite of that, we wish them well. And then in the 4th stage, we bring everybody together. And we spread our well-wishing out to the whole world. So this is a bit of a challenge, and please don't think you've got to sit here and suddenly radiate love and kindness to the whole world. That's probably not going to happen. So what we're doing, we're working in stages. We're just trying to notice how we feel about ourselves, the good friend, the stranger, and so on. We're just noticing honestly how we feel, and we're taking account of that, and we're being kind about it. Even if we have some horrible thoughts about somebody, we're just being kind to ourselves, because we only have horrible thoughts because we're suffering. So it's about, in the first instance, it's about noticing how we feel. And then regardless of how we feel, just spreading out love and kindness to the particular individual that we're imagining, or to the whole world. And to the whole world. Anyway, I've talked enough. Let's get on with the practice. So as usual, just settling in. You can do this lying on the bed, lying in the bed, lying on the floor, sitting on the chair, sitting on a cushion. However you want to do it, just be comfortable. And just noticing how you are this morning. So you might be feeling good, you might be feeling not so good. And however you're feeling, it's okay. You don't have to be any different to how you are right now. You are perfect in your imperfectness. We are human beings who are work in progress, making our way through the world. So however we are right now is just fine. Noticing the weight of your body pressing down on whatever you're lying or sitting on. And just allowing your weight to be held by the chair, the bed, the floor, the cushion, which in turn is being held by the earth. And as we breathe in and out, just noticing the shoulders rising and falling. And on each out breath, as the shoulders drop, just relaxing. Just letting any tightness or tension drop away. Any worries or anxiety. Just letting them drop down through the body into the earth on each out breath. And this includes our minds, so just relaxing the mind, letting any tightness in the mind, any preoccupation in the mind, just drop away as well on the next out breath. And just opening up our hearts, just opening up our sense of self, opening up to the world as much as we can. And moving down to the bottom of the chest, the rib cage, right in the middle of the rib cage, behind the sternum, is the heart center, the chitta, the place where we feel positive emotion. This is our heart mind. And if we notice, if we look very closely, we can notice that there are warm and pleasant feelings here some of the time. And can you notice any now? And if you can't, try bringing to mind someone that you love very dearly, perhaps a person or an animal, and just seeing where the emotion of love arises. If you can't feel it, don't worry. Just staying open to this. And if you can, allowing it to spread and radiate throughout your body. So this is the metta bhavana meditation, loving kindness meditation. And in the first stage, we're just being with ourselves. Just noticing how we feel about ourselves this morning, right now. Not how we felt about ourselves yesterday or how we would like to be, but actually how we feel about ourselves right now. And being as honest as we can about this. And we don't have to think too much, just noticing how we feel. What is our experience? Bringing ourselves to mind, our experience might be pleasant or unpleasant. We might feel good about ourselves or not so good, or somewhere in the middle. So however we feel, having a sense of kindness to ourselves, just having a sense of support for ourselves in our lives. Our lives are quite difficult at times. We suffer in all sorts of ways, psychologically, physically, emotionally. But we're doing our best. We're always doing our best. So can we have a sense of care and love for ourselves? Can we be our own best friend? Enjoying our company in good times, being there to support ourselves in more difficult times. And just like a good friend, Can we accept ourselves just as we are? We may not be perfect, but we're doing our best, treading the path, a work in progress. So as much as we can, just accepting ourselves exactly as we are, with a sense of loving kindness. Moving into stage 2, we're going to bring to mind a really good friend, someone that we care about a lot. So bring them to mind as an image if we can, or if we can't do that, just a sense of them. Maybe remembering some good times, or remembering how they laugh or how they talk. And just seeing what happens. Maybe we can feel a sense of, in our bodies, of love, of care for this person. Or maybe we can't. Maybe some thought gets in the way about them. So whatever happens, just accepting that it's okay. And just thinking about this good friend. You probably know them quite well. But you may well see that there are lots of similarities between you. Your good friend probably beats themselves up when they get things wrong. They probably get upset and angry from time to time, and they have regrets. They feel joy and happiness and love and kindness. They're many-sided, just like ourselves. We all go through the same kind of emotions and experiences. So we have a real sense of solidarity with our friends, a real sense of connection. So can we value whatever connection we have with this friend? Can we really value it and nurture it and be grateful for it? And wish our good friend well. In stage 3, we're going to bring to mind a stranger. So we can let our good friend go for the moment and bring to mind somebody that we see quite often, but we don't know very well. A neighbour, somebody in the shop, somebody on the bus, somebody that we see when we're out and about. Just bringing them to mind as an image or a sense of them, and just noticing how we feel. Noticing what happens, how we feel in our bodies. So we might not feel much at all. We might feel a connection with them, but for many of us, we might feel nothing very much. And that's okay. That's where we're starting from. We don't, people who don't really mean anything, or people who we think don't mean anything much in our lives, we often don't feel a connection with them. In fact, we usually don't feel a connection with them. So we're not being critical of that. We're not trying to deny that. But what we are doing is we're trying to see this person as a human being, a fallible, tender, fragile human being, just like ourselves. So this stranger has ups and downs in their lives, just like we do. They have good times and bad times. They get upset. They get angry. They get disappointed. They don't feel good enough sometimes. Even though they may appear strong on the outside, they still have self-doubt. And they're struggling to make their way through life. Sometimes they're happy and things go well, and sometimes they don't go so well. So they're just like us in so many ways. And can we in some way see that? Can we open our hearts to them and reach out with a sense of loving kindness and goodwill to this stranger that is so much like ourselves? So we're going to let the stranger go for the moment as well, and bring to mind somebody who gives us some difficulty. It might be somebody we don't like, somebody who maybe makes us uncomfortable. It could be somebody we've fallen out with, but not in a big way. Just somebody who we kind of rub up against. Just bringing them to mind and seeing how that feels in the body. Try not to think too much, but noticing how, whether the chest tightens, whether there are unpleasant feelings in the tummy or the belly. Just noticing what effect there is on your body when you bring this person to mind. And not judging that, being kind to yourself about the feelings that arise in you when you think of this person. It's painful, and it's really good to be kind to yourself about the pain that you feel. Even if it's fairly straightforward or not very strong, might just be irritation, but nevertheless it's painful, so be kind to yourself. And then, no matter what kind of pain this person causes you, you can still see them as a human being. You don't have to like them, but you can wish them well. They are just like you, just like ourselves in so many ways. They make mistakes, they feel humiliated, sometimes they don't feel good enough. And at other times they really enjoy life. They have people who love them. They're a mix of emotions and hang-ups and good thoughts and bad thoughts, just like we are. And this person, just like us, is going to grow old, is going to get sick, and one day will die. So maybe we can notice our tendency to fix them as one particular type of person. And just open that impression of them up a little bit, seeing them as a human being. And in spite of not liking them, wishing them well. Wishing them well as a fellow human being. In the fifth and final stage, we bring all four people together. That's ourselves, the good friend, the stranger, and the person we have some difficulty with. just bringing them all together in our imagination, maybe sitting together and having a sense of loving kindness or goodwill and positivity to all four. We may feel differently about each of them, but can we still see the humanity in each one and have a sense of kindness and well-wishing to each of them, especially ourselves and the person we have difficulty with? And then we can perhaps bring to mind everybody who's been meditating with us this morning. 18 human beings at the moment, all feeling and experiencing pretty much the same emotions as we do. Each of us making our way through life, doing our very best, and succeeding and failing. And each of us is perfectly okay. So having a sense of love to all of us here at the moment. And then radiating any sense of love in your heart, any sense of kindness and solidarity, radiating it out to the whole of the UK, to every person in the country. And then to every human being in the whole world. People in so many different circumstances, but all of them doing the best to make the way through their lives. Sometimes enjoying their lives, sometimes suffering. Just ordinary human beings. And then spreading that goodwill and loving kindness even further to all living beings, all animals, all birds, all water creatures, all insects, every living creature, all of them doing the best to have a good life, all of them tender and vulnerable, just like us. Can we wish all beings well? And open our hearts to the whole world. So just relaxing now, letting go of all effort. And for the last few moments, just sitting with your experience in the present moment.